We are live. Another edition of ThursDIAZ. I'm Beto Duran, your host. Thanks for joining us as always. Beto Duran, Joel Diaz, and Razo is back again. Roberto Diaz, still busy with the WBC stuff. Razo will be joining us right now. And we keep going and keep going and going. Thanks to everybody that joins us and tags us and says, hey, I am here for you guys. And before Razo, he's all flustered right now. I'm going to show you guys. Like, he's right there. He's like, I need to go get my beer, all that other stuff. Relax, Razo. Calmado. We'll take care of you. Coach, let's talk with you. How are you doing? How hot is it in the desert?
It's hot. It's hot. And this last few days, besides being hot, it's been very humid. It's just humidity. It's really bad.
Oh,
we know that the Coachella Valley summertime is really hot, but I mean when it's hot and humid, it's worse. It's really bad.
Yeah. Oh man. But I see you working out there with the kids still. You have like was it something in a rancho that you guys are going?
Yeah, we train out there at the ranch. What we do is out there, or it's a little ways from the city. So what we do is Antonio has his program with the amateurs, and he has a lot of kids, and he has those kids that are constantly wanting to train. So we started this when this pandemic started. Actually, Antonio was like, hey, how can we train the kids? Hey, well, we can't train them at the gym, so let's take them to the ranch. So we started training the kids at the ranch, and it just became a habit now, where Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then all of a sudden I just hit some ideas, and I said, Antonio, look at this. I called a friend of mine, he's a welder, and he made me an attachment for my truck, and then I made one for him, so we have 4 punching bags that we can put on the hitch, and the kids can train. And now, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we train the kids in different groups, because we can't train all of them at the same time, so we can only have a certain amount on Monday, and then we switch it up. We give others the opportunity too. So we can give everybody an opportunity that needs to come and train, because everybody wants to train.
It's good, though, that you guys have the kids out there still doing something. The third member tonight, his name is Javier Razo. It's now officially his show, because if you guys saw the promo, it's Razo's show. Go and check him out. He is jumping in last minute, and I kid you not, I called him like about an hour and a half ago. Razo, go. You're ready to go. So thank you for letting us be on your show, Razo. We do appreciate it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got a little beer here, so
A little beer.
so
Damn.
all right, don't forget.
You got the Chicano Golf. All right, and as always, we start off with our shot for everybody. I have, of course, Leti's Tequila todavía.
How's the bottle doing?
The bottle update.
Damn. Oh, it's a little bit less than half. So
Yeah. So what
I
happened?
think out for at least 3 more Thursdays.
Yeah. What happened was last week, Coach, while we were in Tulsa, we'll get to those stories. My sisters came to visit my mom, and I guess it was the little white kid nephew's birthday party. And my sister was sending pictures of them drinking tequila here. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys don't drink, pero encontró la botella, so they were having tequila with the Laws. So John Law, the brother-in-law, Dr. Law actually, he's a very fine dentist. He and the Law family were out here having tequila at my mom's house, and I told my mom, ¿y usted qué? And she's like, pues ahí está, déjalos. I'm like, all right, so no problem. So my mom took some shots too, so thanks to everybody. So right now, salud to everybody. I'm not going to shoot it. I'm going to make a little tequila and squirt because it is too hot right now. Salud.
They didn't do too much damage to the bottle, though. It's a lot of it.
Pues son gabachos, Coach. ¿Qué van a hacer? They make me feel real Mexican. So, all right.
Be surprised,
Some of them are really tequila drinkers.
Exactly.
Actually,
yeah.
my sister Veronica, she's a real tequila drinker. That's all she drinks is tequila. Veronica, she does, she lives in Orange County, but she loves her tequila. She's awesome. She has no idea what I do. She doesn't care about sports. And her coworkers have told her, like, hey, I saw your brother on TV. She's like, oh, yeah, what was he doing? I don't really know what he does. So,
What rank did he commit?
yeah, no, exactly. So we're good. So cheers to everybody. Saludos. Oh, man. And it feels like the end of the week, but it feels good.
It's hot.
Yeah, it is hot. And so today's show, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to go for 2 hours. We're going to go hour for sure, maybe hour and a half max. Here's the agenda for the show. We're gonna talk about Tulsa last week. Our coach and I were at, and what was going on. Then of course we're gonna talk about Razo golfing today against me and Ricky and Razo's boss. And let me just show you guys a picture. You guys won't be able to see it. Where's it at?
Here we go.
There it is.
Go.
I'm not gonna say Razo broke a club today, but Razo broke a club today. So we'll
Razo, you need some good clubs, dude. If they break, I don't know what thrift store you got them at, but you need some good ones.
He got it.
That was a bad hole. We're going through a bad hole on that
We'll
one.
tell that story later on. Eddie Aguilera Boxing Champions does a great job with the trunks and the outfits. Bear Dog, salute to you too. All right, so and then after we tell the story of Razo breaking the clubs, we're going to get into about the international boxing, something that I saw last week, Coach, that really got me thinking about what I wanted today's show to be about, and we'll get into that. So as always, you guys have your comments, leave your comments on the comment section, and we'll take your questions later on. We're going to get flowing, and once Tonio's here, we're going to have a special shout out for Tonio and everything that he does. All right, so
Tonio's mad. Tonio's mad. He told me today he was mad. He left the gym mad because he's not going to be able to be watching the show because today I think his father-in-law and his son
really
are celebrating birthdays. So right now he's out there, I don't know, at a restaurant or something because it's his son's birthday and his father-in-law's birthday. So Antonio's not around. So we can talk bad about him all you want.
Well, in that case,
he could still be listening. He could be watching on his phone. You never know.
Well, in that case, let me just show right now. It is happy birthday to Tonio's son, his 14-year-old today. Ivan is having his 14th birthday. So happy birthday to Ivan Diaz. Your dad is awesome. Your mom is awesome. So happy birthday to you, young Ivan. And
happy
also,
birthday, buddy.
But Coach, while you're at it, since we're making fun of Tonio, why is he going to be fighting Mike Tyson?
Let me tell you what happened. What happened is this, and I get a lot of comments because we posted it this morning.
Yeah.
And people are calling me, but we always have fun at what we do. We just try to make something funny out of things. So this morning, I was really excited because I told Antonio, let's go to the building. We meet at the building early morning to keep working on the project. And finally, we got water in the building because we had to. When I was in Tulsa, I have friends here and there, and then some of my friends from the water district, they told me, "Hey, Coach, you need to install a water flow, a backflow." And I said, "Really? They haven't asked me. I already called. They're gonna install the water. They're gonna bring water service." Well, just in case, let me double check. So, long story short, they came and they wanted to set the water in the building, but there was a leak. And I called my friend, "Hey, there's a leak. Don't worry, I will fix it." So he goes and he fixes it. So then he tells me, "Hey, you need a valve. So let's install a good valve." Okay, perfect. So then when we go out there, I tell him, before I went to Tulsa, I said, "Hey, there's gonna be a problem because it's maybe like 80 feet from the meter to the building." I said, "So what are we gonna do?" I said, "Well, I don't know. The line is broken. Maybe and then it's galvanized. It's an old line. We need to change it. Let's get rid of the galvanized one." Okay. Well, I was in Tulsa. All the time I was in that room, I was thinking, when I get back, I'm so desperate to get out of this room that I'm gonna start just digging, get a shovel and just dig like a gopher and go and make the trench. I said, I know that I'm gonna run into some asphalt and some, but I'm gonna dig. I just want to go out there. So I was desperate to get back to dig a trench. So when I get there, I meet with my friend from the water district and we start digging around the meter. And all of a sudden we found the galvanized pipe. And he goes, "Hey, this is the pipe. But over there by the building is copper." He says, "Well, let's find where the transition is from the galvanized to the copper." And we kept digging like maybe 2 feet from the meter and we find the copper pipe. And he says, "Look, we found the pipe. We don't have to dig anymore," because we're already trying to find a chip and hammer and stuff like that. He says, "We don't have to dig anymore. The pipe is right here. It was just next to it. Now we have to do is connect the pipe and you got water." Great. So, I mean, it saved me work, money, and time. Yeah. So I called the plumber. He came over and welded everything really nice and got the water. So today, when I was out there, I called the contractor and said, "Hey, can I open the water?" He goes, "Yes, I already checked inside. Everything's good. You can open the water." So I took a water hose and I started watering the back. There's dirt. So Antonio pulls up. And I said, "Antonio, look, the building has life now, from being nothing to now it's giving life." So then we started watching Oscar de la Hoya's, comments and that Oscar wants to come back. So Antonio was like, man, if Oscar wants to come back, I'm gonna come back too. And I said, hey, Antonio, that'll be good because I always make up Antonio, I make fun of Antonio because he's always overweight. He goes, I don't care, I'm eating. So I told Antonio, since Roy Jones is fighting Mike Tyson, you know that now all the promoters always have a backup because of this COVID. What if Roy Jones ends up with COVID before the fight and somebody has to step in? Would you step in? Would you step in? He goes, yeah. So I started I posted it on my story. I said, hey, if Roy Jones doesn't make it to the fight or he just pulls out of the fight, Antonio's willing to step in. And I said, besides, what damage is Mike Tyson going to do to you that Margarito didn't already do, So it just became like that, and people started, watching the story and started, making it. And then one of his friends just did that little poster where he had Mike Tyson and Antonio.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing right now.
It was just basically just fun, talking about how Oscar wants to come back, at his age, 47. And Antonio's like, well, if Oscar wants to come back, I want to come back too, So that's where everything started. It just became a thing of the day.
Yeah, everybody wants to come back.
This is our chance right here, Beto. This is our chance. I want to be a cornerman, coach. Come on. I want to be a cornerman. Beto wants to do the flag. Or at least let me carry his belt.
Who's? Toño's?
Yeah.
What? Okay, got you. Hey, I want
to be like, this is my opportunity right here. I
got it, Beto. Hey, Beto, hey, Razo, let's make it happen, and you're gonna be in the corner. And if you want, I'll be on the outside. You be in the inside, giving instructions.
I was talking to Beto about this. I go, I'll pump his ass up right now.
Okay, this was another topic I wanted to get into today, but we're gonna get into it right now because last week in Tulsa, I saw something that was different, and we're getting to Tulsa. But I'm changing topics around right now because, Coach, today after we golf, Razo, we were talking about Oscar's coming back, and look, Razo doesn't know anything. They grew up together, but he doesn't know what Oscar's doing right now at this moment. Okay, it's an employee-business relationship. If he wants to come back, we support you, Oscar. Great, no problem, because we can make money.
Right?
I'll be his cornerman. I was his last cornerman. So.
Now, Razo says something like this: that he would be a great cornerman, Coach, because he hypes you up. And last week in Tulsa, I saw you yelling at Madrimov, the Dream. You were yelling at him. This is it right now. The week before, you were yelling at Thomas Delorme, hyping him up. When you hype somebody up like that, does it actually work? Because Razo said that he can get a fighter hyped up like nothing, that he knows he can. Is it true?
It's true. 90% of the time. 90% of the time it's true. Let me tell you why. There's fighters that are already feeling fatigued. They're feeling like down in some moments of the fight. Whatever happens in that corner can pump them up. Madrimov was really tired, like in the 6th round, and I know that he was breathing. And then I started yelling at him. I said, "Hey, come on, you're not tired. Let's go. Let's bring it out. Let's go. Let's get this." And I go, "You tired?" And he goes, "No." I go, "You're not tired." And he goes, "Ah!" And I heard him.
Yeah.
The way he reacted, he goes, "Ah!" And then I go, "Okay, get up." And I slapped him on the side. I go, "Come on, you're a warrior. Let's go." And right there and then, I brought him back. And I've done it with many fighters where you just have to touch certain buttons. And you know what? This is what I do. I've done it before where I have fighters that have their family in the corner. I mean, a family in the arena, and I tell them, "Come on, you're gonna let this guy beat you. Hey, you're doing this for your family. Look at your family. Come on, they're here to see you win. Let's go." And then you bring them back to life. They get that adrenaline rush, And it's true. I mean, you gotta have that energy. And I think that when I'm in that fight, I'm fighting with them. When they come to the corner, I already got something, and I always bring them back. And
I told you.
I'm a motivation. Motivation is a big factor. It's very important for a cornerman in the corner. And I think Razo, the way he does his tailgate parties, he's a great motivator.
Hey, that happened to me. I'm telling you, with my one time with Oscar.
What happened, Razo?
A little shot at him, and when he got back to the corner, I'm like, "Come on, Oscar, you got this. Are you tired?" He goes, "Sí, cabrón, I'm tired." But Oscar being Oscar, went in there, gave him a little 1-2-1-2, and put Mario in his place right away. So I take credit for that. I got credit for that one. Pumped him up.
That's what it was, because today Razo was saying, because Razo was an old high school football coach and motivating guys, he can get them going. But he said, anytime somebody needs them in the corner, Razo could be there. He said he knows confident that he can get somebody fired up and motivate them. Because a lot of guys in the corner, you see them, I would be terrible in the corner because I just want to wave the flag and take selfies. Because I'm there for me. But,
But I wouldn't argue with Joel. Like, I'll let him do his thing, and then, like, give me the last 10 seconds. And then I'll pump him up. But
yeah, you don't want to be like Antonio when when Bradley fought Edner Cherry in Biloxi, Mississippi. Bradley took Antonio because Antonio has a lot of experience. He fought for a world title, and so we took him. And I remember Bradley comes to the corner, and in between rounds, I'm talking to Bradley. Hey, I'm telling him, giving him directions and what I want to do. And as soon as I stop, Antonio, he's over here, and he wants to talk to Bradley. And that day, I remember it's the sixth round. It's in the sixth round. Bradley and Edner Cherry, right? It's in the corner where I finished my instructions. I talked to Bradley, and then all of a sudden, Antonio, it was like maybe 10 or 15 seconds before the bell or before the referee says seconds out. Antonio goes, Tim. And all of a sudden, the bell rings, and he didn't say anything.
Hey, those took fucking 10 seconds.
It took like 10 seconds.
I'll pump somebody up. I think I've said it before too. Like when there's this kid's like va a perder, this and that. What do you always hear people yelling at the kid? Tírale el volado, tírale el pinche volado. You fucking throw volado, hey, you never know. It's like a flip of a coin. You might land or you might not.
I respect everybody, and the way they. I mean, because everything comes from the gym. Whatever you do at the gym, that's how you program your fighter for the fight. But at the same time, I don't know how a fighter, when it's a fight. In a fight, you need to be pumped. You need to have that energy, the adrenaline in you, And I've seen trainers. I mean, much respect for them. I have nothing against that, but that's their style. They come to the corner and they sit down. They sit their fighter and they talk to him like if they're trying to convince him to take him on a date. Like, hey, look, baby. This is the way you come on. Like, no, that's not the way you talk to a fighter.
You know who I've seen do that? And, respects to them is Danny Garcia's dad. Sometimes in the fights, Danny, like his dad's like, come on, Danny. I know you could do this, Danny. Like, if I'm the fighter, I'm kind of like, dude, I see, like, he don't have faith in me or something. You know what I mean? But if you see somebody that's more, all right, come on, you got this, and more pumped up. You're what you're showing, like you said the other day, what you're showing has a lot to do with it also.
And this is the thing, Razo, and this is part of boxing, and this is the way it is. As a former fighter myself, and I've seen it, and I've done it before, where you have a fighter walking in the ring, and the trainer's with him, and you have a father next to him, and if the father tends to be really nervous, I try to keep him away. Why? Because through experience, I've noticed that fighters, as well as I used to fight, if I see somebody in my team nervous, my mind starts going 100 miles an hour. I'm like, why is this guy nervous? Does he know something that I don't know? What's going on? So it just throws you off. It distracts a fighter. I can tell you that. I've had Omar Figueroa. When Omar Figueroa fought in Texas on the big card, before walking into the arena, we're walking out of the dressing room towards the arena, and his father, he's like biting his nails, and I tell him, hey, and I didn't make it obvious. I just stepped aside and I told him, hey, just go to the back, and don't stay around us. And he goes, why? I go, you're too nervous. I go, you know what? I don't want Omar to think that something's going on, even though nothing's going on. But you're making it too obvious, like something bad is happening. Your demeanor, your actions is not right. I mean, they're making me nervous. So please step out. So I did. And also, going back to the corner, and I'm telling you guys right now, you have to be the strongest column in that corner as a trainer.
Definitely.
Because if the fighter comes to the corner after the bell rings and he sits on a stool and he looks at you and you're nervous, he gets nervous. He starts thinking. You gotta be like, hey, because if they see something on your face, on your actions, and then they start getting distracted, like, hey, no, you can't. You gotta be like firm. Come on, you cannot show them any weakness, because if you show them weakness, they go down. You can, I mean, if you crumble, they crumble with you. That's the
At
way it
least,
is.
at least say, hey, keep
Yeah.
shooting the jab.
Hey,
Keep
come on,
shooting the
let's go.
jab.
Nothing's happening.
El
Talk to me.
volado,
Hey,
el volado.
El
yeah.
volado, el volado.
And a lot of fighters,
El 1-2, el
a lot
1-2.
of fighters catch that. A lot of fighters catch it, and you see it. I've seen fights where the fighters come and they sit on the stool and they look up and they're looking at your eyes, and if you start like you start like stuttering and very very nervous, that is bad for the fighter. Then the fighter thinks something bad is happening, because when you're in the fight, you're fighting, your adrenaline is at 100%. You don't know. I mean, you could be winning, you could be losing, but you don't know because your corner is the one watching from the corner, from the outside. So when you come to the corner, you don't know. You're just fighting, but you see things different from outside than from inside. So it's your presentation, how you speak to your fighter, that it means a lot to guide a fighter for the next round.
So Razo could be a good one.
Coach, but the fighters also hear, like the fans, if they get hit, they'll hear the ooh.
Yeah.
So that's when they know something, oh shit, me agarré un putazo. Or when fans are yelling at them, because I've done that before, and a good example is Traval Mazon. I kept yelling at him, go to the body, go to the body. And thanks to Jessica Rosales, she sent me a little video where at the end, he's like, I heard you, go to the body, go to the body. And that's how he took care of it. So,
yeah, there's
a little thing.
You know, little thing. Yeah, you be on the corner, Razo.
No, there's fighters that, yes, they tend to listen to the crowd and listen to people that they know. For example, and I'm going to tell you, you're a very recognized person in the Gold Promotions company. So if you're sitting ringside and one of the Golden Boy fighters is fighting and you're yelling, obviously that fighter, because he knows you, he's gonna be listening to you and he knows your voice, but he will not to somebody else but you. I mean, because fighters, when they get in that ring and they hear a crowd, some of them tend to block everything. They're focused, But obviously, due to the fact that they know you, they would hear your voice,
Plus, I know a lot of times what I yell is if I hear you yelling, double up on the jab, I kind of repeat what you're saying. Or, just to make sure he hears you. And a lot of the times, I'm not coaching the kid. I've never coached him. I don't, you don't have to listen to me. But some of the stuff sometimes, like, dude, keep your hands up. Yeah. Keep your hands up. That's a good advice to somebody. Keep your hands up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a perfect advice, because
hey,
you just
every time you throw this certain punch and he's countering you with this punch, dude, do not put that right hand down.
Razo, you're making it seem too easy, bro. You're making it seem too easy.
It's not that, and I know it's hard, dude. I give it.
No, I mean it's because you're talented. That's why, Razo.
It's the experience. He worked the corner.
he worked the corner, and he has his own show on Thursdays.
Hey, and not any corner. Remember, not any corner. He worked Oscar de la Hoya's corner.
Against Mario Lopez.
You're going to have to come back. I got to get that 10%.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so a lot of good questions coming in. We're going to get into the boxing stuff. Eddie Aguilera has a good question. People want to know about last week in Tulsa. But now people are mixing it around. Razo, because you're so motivating, I'm going to talk about what happened today at the golf course. So we're going to get to the golf, and then we're going to get into the boxing. All right, so don't go anywhere. Razo, you'll be able to see this right now. Here it is. Razo was on the golf course today. And, Coach, I sent you the video this morning, didn't I?
Yep. Yep. I saw it.
You did see it, but did I send you the picture of Razo breaking a golf club?
No, you didn't.
Oh, no. Razo broke a golf club over his knee, and it looked exactly like Bo Jackson. When Bo Jackson snapped the bat over his knee, that's exactly what Razo looked like today on the golf course in Montebello at QC's. Coach,
that's my boy.
Here's what's going on. So Razo is behind me, and I'm watching Razo like, okay, he's going to hit it. Make sure he doesn't hit me. He swings it. It's a bad hit. I think he hits it into the tree, whatever. And I see him get the club up here and fuck! And then right over the knee, you hear a crack.
Whoa.
I thought he was breaking a tree branch. That's what it sounded like. I'm like, what is that? So I'm playing with Ricky, and Ricky looks over, and he's like, whoa. And it was really quiet on the course. And I just started laughing because I'm not going to take Razo serious. So, and Razo was pissed, coach. He took off and he left. Oh, man.
That was my bad hole I had. But the funny thing is, too, is that right when we teed off, Ricky hit bombs, and he plays really good. But it still went to the right a little bit, and he swung his club down, the driver. And I was like, hey, cabrón, you're going to break it. He goes, I'll buy another one. I'm like, well, yeah, you can afford another one.
Yeah, but he said that as a joke. No, Razo really broke it. Of course.
I got frustrated myself.
Of course. What do? I'm going to run over and take pictures of this. Is exactly what I did. I took pictures of Razo breaking his golf club, coach, and I picked it up. And just because I am a man of the people.
Oh, you have it?
It's supposed to be like this.
Anyway. Hey, no wonder he broke it. That thing's plastic.
It is.
It's graphite. It's a real golf club. It doesn't even fit on the screen.
It's like iron.
It's broken.
He says he picked it up at Toys R Us yesterday.
I never could hit that stupid club. I was having.
Well, you're never going to hit it again either.
Exactly. That's why I said, you know what? I'm done with this one. I need a 3-wood anyway. I thought of Bo Jackson. I did it for Bo Jackson. Sas, acabó, pum, pum.
You did it. It's Stufas, right? Razo, you were dancing.
Yeah, what about my good stuff, bro? Come on now.
No, I mean, we'll get into the good stuff, but I mean, it's fantastic.
Talk about the good stuff my gallo did, not only the bad stuff.
Oh, look
please.
at that. That is right
Gallo,
there.
I got your back.
So, coach, you heard
the good and
crack!
back at the bad.
You correct. So that picture of him with the club, I forced Razo a couple holes later to actually recreate the moment, and it's pretty cool. And Razo is the man, very little strong. So today we did play golf. It was a good round, Montebello. I'm not gonna say
right here.
I'm not gonna say I won and I carried my team, but I'm not gonna say that because it's not true.
Really? Razo. Hey, but you know why you did it? Because you were having fun.
Exactly, but it was hot like a motherfucker.
Yes, it was. It was hot. You see my face. But so, coach, I don't take golf seriously. But when you need me, I'm there for you. Last hole.
Give it up to Beto.
Last hole. All I need to do is make my putt about 10 yards. Easy par. I make it. I take Razo's $5. No problem, coach. No problem.
Oh, no. Come on now, brother. No,
and because of that, I went and bought myself a square.
That hole, I won closest to the pin, by the way. And I parred it, and Beto needed to par to tie the hole, and he did. But they were already up by one, so they beat us by one hole.
So I was
a little disappointed in Eric P., but that's my guy. We came through. Y'all figured at the beginning, at the first 2-3 holes, todos calladitos, focus is my coach Eric P. And I was like, dude, this is not fun. I started, I talked smack to Ricky, so we started talking a little smack, started to have a good time, started to get a little hot, and it was fun. We had a good time. I think we all pretty much played pretty good, I guess. I mean, I had to carry Eric P a little bit here and there, except for that one hole that the stupid club did what it was supposed to, and I did.
¿Te falló el club? ¿Te falló el club, gallo?
Me falló el club.
Oh, we need to get some.
I'm blaming it on the club.
And the best part is I took a video of you dancing, Razo, and I sent it to coach. Like, tu gallo.
Yeah.
He said, see.
That's when I was making some putts.
We were celebrating.
Razo was on for a while.
It was a celebrating dance.
Razo was on for a while. Razo got down pretty good, man. Razo got down. It was a good round of golf, so we had a good time. And also yesterday.
But it was good though because P did his thing, and then when he did a bad shot, I picked his ass up.
Yeah.
So P was a little impressed with me too. So we were a good team. Next week we got a little rematch.
Yeah, we got a rematch
because they beat us by one. So all they won was $10. It was $10 a hole. So they beat us one hole. And it's going to be on, bro. That's it. I already got Chichi Rodriguez going to give me some pointers.
See, Razo, next week you got to bring Coach with you to be in the cart hyping you up. Let's go, Razo.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Gallo, you want me to put it in you? Hey, I'll grab him from the goatee and I'll go, come on, Razo, you got this. Hey, I'll grab that goatee like this and I'll go, come on, Razo, you got this, man. Hey, remember you watched the movie Happy Gilmore? I'm on
It's all in the head.
That's all it was. It was a good round. And then yesterday we had a Golden Boy outing. We played at Bell Gardens, a par 3. Coach, you would have loved it yesterday because everybody on the golf course was somebody that you knew. Alicia Del Valle went. Ernie from Everlast went. Martin Moreno and Jesus Sepulveda went. Jessica Rosales played golf yesterday.
I saw that.
Yeah. And Bobby D showed up, and Razo was there. We had a great time with Jolito, everybody there. And Coach, I know you say your son, his dad is rich. My goodness.
I don't know him. I don't know his dad.
Well, your son yesterday showed up with the golf bag, Cub Swanson bag. Cub's a great guy. And then brand new Nike golf clubs. It's, woof. There you go. So just real nice. It was a great outing. We had a good time yesterday. All kinds of good stuff. And as my friend Beto Gomez said, Tocayo, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't. Also hit the that bell. We appreciate everybody watching. But now keep our numbers growing. Keep it going. We are onto something here. So like, subscribe, leave the comments, and hit that bell, and we'll have some good times. All right, let's get into the boxing. Last week.
Yeah, subscribe and like that.
Subscribe and like.
Says, the numbers ain't matching there, brother. Come on.
Hey, come on. And shout out to Paul Banky, former world champion, who's watching us right now. Paul also has his own YouTube page, and Paul, actually, I know your coach, Valenzuela, Duarte Boxing Club. So shout out to him. So last week we were in quarantine. We did this show in quarantine from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Coach, I'll start with my experience of what it was like as the ring reporter there. Oklahoma Commission is tough. You cannot go anywhere. Yeah. So me as the ring reporter, I wasn't allowed to get anywhere near the ring. So there was barricades. So I'm talking to the commission like, well, my job is to get inside. If something happens, I got to be in there. They're like, no, if you do, you have to wear a shield. If you have to wear a shield, you can't. They're like, if you're in that quarantine area around the ring, you're not allowed to leave. So I'm like, well, I got to go back in the locker room. They're like, no, because then you're going to be taken there to there. So it was, for me to do my job was really difficult. So we figured it out, got things done. But it was a cool venue in the streets of downtown Tulsa. Nobody there, but it felt cool because you walked out from the hotel where they quarantined you. I think you guys got warmed up like at the Starbucks, and then you went out the black car. No, seriously, it was one of the restaurants.
Yeah, it was.
It was one of the restaurants there that was closed down. The hotel was quarantined on one side just for the boxing. So they used one of the restaurants as a locker room. You walk out, and I did the walk like the fighters did, and the stage or the ramp. It just felt cool, sun coming down, hot as could be, but it was cool looking. Instead of being, Fantasy Springs, the bubble, I get it why you have to do it, but it was dark. It didn't feel quite right. At least you're outside. You had people in their hotel rooms looking in. People that live in the lofts were yelling. So it was.
I was gonna say, did you hear people yelling?
Yeah, you could hear people that live in those lofts. They opened up their windows and were yelling, and it was. So people were from a distance. It feels different.
They were watching boxing.
Yeah, they probably had no idea what they were watching, but it was pretty cool. It was a good experience. But Coach, it was difficult for me to do my job because I couldn't get anywhere near the ring. And Coach, I know you had to be 6 feet away from the ring when you're giving your instructions. So it was, you can't be on the apron, Razo. So it was interesting. What was your experience like?
Well, my experience was, it was a new experience for everybody. Since we got there, since we got to the hotel, obviously we're not going through the front of the hotel to the lobby. They bring us through the parking lot through a back door. Honestly, it's not even a kitchen. We go through the back door, and then what they do is they send you to your room. You don't see anybody. You don't talk to nobody. You just go to your room. So you have to quarantine for what was it,
48 hours?
48 hours.
Because you flew 48 hours.
You go to your room, and you cannot come out of your room at all for 48 hours. And then for breakfast, they'll knock on your door, and they'll leave your food hanging on the door, right? So, and then for lunch and dinner, same. So you cannot leave your room. After 48 hours, early morning, they come and they do your test. And once they do the test, you have to wait 24 hours to get cleared.
Yep.
But for us, it was more than 24 hours. It was more like
36.
Like 48 hours. Yeah, or something.
Because my guy came Friday night instead of Friday morning.
They tested me Tuesday morning. I got there Sunday. They tested me Tuesday morning at 7, and they gave me my results like a Wednesday, like at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was positive because they weren't coming to my room. Because they tell you they'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I didn't get until late in the afternoon. I was like, oh man.
With
were you
me,
able to call somebody or nothing?
Yeah, what it
well, yeah,
was is the
you can
lab was
call the
taking their
front
time.
desk and say, hey, I need some water or whatever. I mean, they'll come to your door, they'll knock, and they'll leave whatever on the door. But to me, I had just left the bubble. I was in LA, and I was there for a week. So I was in LA in a bubble as well. And as soon as I left LA, as soon as I walked out of the hotel to the airport, I never took off my mask. I always had my mask on until I got to my room. So I go, I know I'm not gonna get the virus. Going into the hotel, just being there on Wednesday, we were expecting our results early, and they never came in early. So what I did is I came outside in the hallway and I was training my boys. I said, man, they've been here since Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days. They need to train. So I was training them in the hallway. Security comes and says, hey, you can't be here. I'm sorry. I got to train my boys. Oh, but I'm sorry. I mean, they were supposed to give us the results earlier. It's already 9 p.m. And then half an hour later, they come in to give us a bracelet. Okay, you're negative. Okay, fine. So from that moment on, that was Wednesday. And then Thursday, for press conference and meetings, the fighter goes by himself. The fighter was going to the gym by himself. And then the day of the fight, I mean, just being in your room all day, honestly, it was like the time I was in Tulsa from Sunday to Saturday, 95% of the time we're in your room. So when we left after the fight and going back to the fight, I mean, going into the dressing room and they tell you, well, you have to wear gloves, you have to wear a mask, and you have to wear a shield. Everybody's complaining because it's very humid. Mike Rodriguez, he held me in the corner and he was soaking wet because of the humidity. And then having a mask and having a shield, you can't breathe. And it was hard. People were complaining, but the commission was like, hey, you have to. So we followed the guy, like, regardless.
Yeah, it was hard. And that was the first fight time they were doing it in Oklahoma, so they were really strict about everything else.
They were really, really strict. That's why we had to wear a mask and a shield, gloves, and everything.
They were not playing at all.
No, they were not playing. Everything was really strict. I was like 8 feet from the ring. Bell rings, jump up in the ring. And going in the ring with the shield is hard because you're coming out of the ring, the shield is over here, and it will get stuck. It will get stuck on the ropes. It was just uncomfortable work.
It was hard. It was interesting. Like I said, cool setup. I get it. New commissions, you have to follow the protocols because different states, what's going on, and it looked cool, but it was a lot of things that have to work out on. And I know, Coach, you've been in the PBC bubble, the Top Rank bubble. You've been in all of them. I've been in the Golden Boy and the Matchroom one. It's interesting. The Thompson ones too. What
you
goes
should
on.
do some plays on the face mask, like Coach McVeigh was saying.
That's actually
right here. Métele un putazo.
Well, and this is where I'm going to go to. Now, Coach, you had Shakram Jasov look good, a knockout, and you got victory for him. But the fight that I want to talk about is Israel Majumov, where your guy was tired, but then you got him motivated, and he had that big punch that should have been ruled a knockout, a knockdown at least, and it wasn't. My problem for me so the referee ruled that the punch, the knockdown was caused because of his shoulder that pushed him down. So my producer's telling me, Beto, go find out what he's saying. I'm like, I can't get in there. And
it was hard.
Security was told, that guy right there, do not let him get past the barricade. Because they knew I was going to be up to something. I mean, because, you know me, I'm going to find a way. Yeah. I'm going to find a way. So I'm at the barricade. And I'm yelling at the referee, hey. And because the referees are also quarantined, I couldn't introduce myself earlier like I normally would. Because I always go say, hey, I'm going to be the ring reporter in case something happens. Here it is. So I'm just doing this to the referee, waving my arms, and I'm pointing at the microphone. I'm like, what happened? What happened? That's how I was able to get my ring report from the referee. I kid you not, Razo. That's how it happened. I'm standing next to Joel. And then I go on the other side. I finally get the report where the referee tells me that he can't continue, that they'll go to the scorecards and it won't be a disqualification. So I now have information. Joel's corner doesn't have this information, but I can't tell them because now that's an advantage to them because I was only one told. So it was just a lot of.
I heard it. I heard it once that the referee said it.
Okay.
I heard it. That information, I heard it as soon as he went down, and then the guy next to me is yelling at the ref. He's telling him, start counting.
Start counting.
But this guy was very, very aggressive. Like, tell the ref, stupid ref start counting, and the referee heard him, so the referee
Turn to you guys.
Hey, he goes, no, he didn't start counting because the guy went down, and then he's trying to get up, and he's still dazed. Even when he's sitting on the stool, he's still dazed. How can you be dazed by a push of a shoulder when he's out? I mean, that literally there was a knockout. Okay, that was a knockout. But the referee was so consistent that it was a push. I mean, Israel just swung and he was already going with a motion, and it seemed like he did, but he didn't even hit him with the shoulder. He just caught him with a punch.
Yeah.
And it was so hard dealing with the ref. And I mean, as bad as it was, he took the knockout from us. And even towards the 11th round, Israel had Walker on the ropes, and he was hurting him. He was doing a lot of damage, and everybody was stop the fight, and he wasn't listening. I mean, it was just bad. Honestly,
did they tell you guys if they had a replay?
No, Oklahoma does not have a replay.
We tried because when they paused it, they said, okay, time. Let's give this guy time to recover, and if he can't continue, we'll go to the cards. During that time, even the comment like Sergio Mora and Todd, they were like, hey, let's go to the replay, and they couldn't do it.
Oklahoma does not have replay, even though the production team has it. Oklahoma laws, they do not use instant replay.
They don't have,
only a few states do that. So I saw the replay, and I'm like, they're like, go find out what's going on. I'm like just yelling, hey, hey, and then all of a sudden, what I did was the side where security wasn't told about me, I went to the other side, and that's how I was able to sneak in and get some kind of information. So when you're the reporter, you got to find a way. You got to find a way, because it was my first time working for Matchroom, so I got to make sure I do well because I can get invited again. So, but it was an interesting night. Your guy Madrimov, he got the victory, and then afterwards, it was just weird, Razo, because we get done and there's nowhere to go in Tulsa because it's midnight. It's actually after midnight. So we just had pizza right there in the hotel lobby, pizza and sodas, and that was it. It felt like
sandwich.
Yeah, it really did feel like an amateur show where afterwards they have pizza for the kids. And we're appreciative of all that stuff. Great that it was there, but it was just, after a fight, you're still amped up, you're fired up. You're like, all right, let me go get a beer. It's like
get a drink or something.
I looked and I'm like, everything's closed in Tulsa. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go leave in the morning anyways. But it was interesting. It's good to be back working, but it's just the times that we're in. It's just still difficult to get a rhythm of what's going on.
It just felt so much relief leaving that place, because just being there for a whole week in your room, honestly, it felt like you were like in a cage, because you wake up in the morning and you can't go nowhere. You gotta wait for your breakfast.
Yeah.
And then I was walking from the window to the door, and then there was a mat. There was a mat in a roll-up mat that was in the closet. So I would roll up the mat and I would do push-ups. I would do sit-ups, and then.
You thought you were in the pinta?
Hey, I would do that every day. So I started doing that. I go, okay, I'm gonna keep myself busy. I do sit-ups, do push-ups, and then walk back and forth. I would go on my laptop and watch Netflix, watch a movie, watch TV, talk to my family. And then all of a sudden, everything is over, the fight's over, we come back, and then pick us up at the airport, and then they drop us off at the airport, and then Shakram leaves his phone in the van that dropped us off. So we're about to check in, to go to the gate, wait for our flight, and we're still trying to find out who the driver was. Nobody knew who the driver was. The van, and his phone was in the van. So finally, they find who it is. It comes and leaves our phone. Leaves Shakram's phone. We go wait for the time to board. We get on the plane. I'm like, oh man, finally we're going home. I want to get home. I had plans. I had told my wife, hey, I want to get home and barbecue. Those are my plans. My flight, I'll be in Palm Springs at 12 at noon. So my wife she already had steaks and everything. I said, I want to go home, just go to my backyard and cook. I want to forget about everything that happened in Tulsa. All that isolation in my room. I just want to be in my backyard just cooking. I'll be home by 12. And then he goes, okay, I'll have Junior go pick you up. So we're on the plane and we're about to take off. When they're like, hey, they detected something on the plane.
You too?
So we came back and then we had to deplane. So
you too?
Like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So look, Beto, and we're like right there. So I'm like, so what's next? Oh, well, let's see. It was 9 in the morning, our flight was at 9. So they tell us, oh, the next flight to Palm Springs will arrive we'll leave at 2:30 p.m. I go, it's 9 in the morning. Well, yeah. So then I started, trying to find something else. So I tell the guys, hey, so it will go from Tulsa to Denver at 2:30, being in Denver at 3:30, and then our next flight from Denver to Palm Springs was at 7:30 p.m. To be in Palm Springs at 9 p.m. And I said, no, it's not gonna work. So then I tried to find an earlier flight. So some of the guys, they're like, hey, coach, how about if we try to fly from maybe a flight to Ontario? It's probably an hour and a half.
I almost took that one.
So then I try to get it, and they tell me, well, yeah, but the flight to Ontario is, you guys will be landing in Ontario at 10 p.m. I said, oh, okay, well, we just wait. So we waited in the airport, just hanging out, but we were happy. You know why? Because we were not isolated in a room.
Yeah.
We were walking around. We went to go get a burger. We went to go get a burger. We went here. We went to the store. We were walking along the airport. We arrived in Denver, and then one of the guys just said, hey, let's go. There's a Chick-fil-A here. So in Denver, the airport is big. Mm-hmm. So we landed in Denver, and we're like the 36, gate 36, B36. And our next flight was on B86. So the guy's like, hey, let's go to Chick-fil-A. Where is it? Oh, it's down that way. So we started going from 36 to 20. So we went back. Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. So
we had the same experience, Coach. I did the same thing. I went to Chick-fil-A and I forgot it was Sunday. I didn't know what day it was.
Yeah, so we sit at a restaurant and we just right there we order some chicken wings and whatever. And we're there, we're just hanging out. We finished eating and we still keep talking.
Yeah.
We're there for 2 hours because our flight was at 7:30 to get home at 9.
I had the same problems.
You were having a chicken wing every 10 minutes or what? One chicken wing? Hold on.
Yeah.
Next one, 10 minutes. Okay.
And to Jeremiah Gallegos, ring announcer, is checking in right now from Houston. Good dude, Jeremiah. So my travel problems, I thought it was just me. I thought we were leaving at the same time in Tulsa at 9. Same thing. Mechanical issues, deplane. Get back on, deplane. So my connection in Dallas, missed. My second connection, missed. And then all of a sudden they tell me, Mr. Duran, can you fly to Ontario? I was like, no, I go to LAX. Oh, LAX, next flight available is 10:30 p.m. I was supposed to arrive in LA at 1. I'm like, oh. They're like, well, you can go to Ontario or John Wayne. Luckily, my sister, Veronica, the one who doesn't know where I work or what I do, drinks tequila. She lives in Orange County. I call her. I'm like, Veronica, can you pick me up at John Wayne? She's like, what are you doing? You left? You're not at home? I'm like, just pick me up at John Wayne. Like, just got there. So I got home like about 6 o'clock. It was just but you're right, Coach. It was just that I'm just glad to be out of the room. I'm not going to complain. Yeah. It's cool. No. Let's just go. It's all right. And it was fun. We got to work boxing. We got to see some good fights. It was really cool. I want to shout out to Cecilia Brickus, who was just total class in defeat. I know most people probably didn't watch that fight, but go back and watch the DAZN Instagram. Her interview, that is what a professional looks like and sounds like. Afterwards, she lost for the first time in years. And she handed her belts to McCaskill. Afterwards, did the interview. She took a picture with Jeremiah as she's waiting to do the interview. And she's like, yeah, no problem. Whatever. Just total class. First time meeting her.
Yeah, very class.
Wonderful woman. And just said, hey, she told McCaskill, the girl who defeated her, to take her belts and said, continue with the legacy. Like that is why we love this sport right now and the legacy of what's going on. And Coach, what I want to do before we get to your questions is, and Razo, this is where I want you to talk to here. And we'll talk for you, go real quick, Razo. When you deal with international fighters, how do you do that? Because watching Coach deal with the Uzbekistans this weekend, I have a brand new appreciation. Not that I didn't already, but more of an appreciation for how to deal with them. Razo, you as a matchmaker, how do you deal with them? Because you have to deal with international guys that you sign and also international guys that you don't sign, that you bring in as opponents.
But you deal with them in what sense? Like, because Coach travels with them.
No, but you as a matchmaker, how do you deal with them? Like the communication factor of just getting them and finding them, and once they're here, when guys you could tell are fighting for you the first time, like they're looking around. You can tell they're scared to be in the United States at times.
Yeah. I mean, some of them, the language is different, from wherever they come, and I've learned, like with the Puerto Ricans and Chemito Moreno, who came from Panama, they speak so fast,
Yes.
but you learn to catch every other word and try and put a sentence together. And the communication is hard, but yeah, I mean, sometimes you just deal with them as far as like they come, they're like, wow, look at all this and stuff, and majority of the time, they're just happy to be out of their country, kind of, because they don't. A lot of them don't have the liberty, I guess. Like poverty, I guess it's not the best or whatever. But I don't have issues. Like I haven't had issues with.
No,
I'm
not
still
necessarily
like,
issue, but it's more like to get your point across of what you need sometimes. Like,
uh, majority of the time, it's whoever the manager is,
okay,
and I deal with the manager. I don't really talk to the fighters.
okay,
I would go to the manager, and they're usually the ones that would relay the message and stuff like that. The foreign fighters, I'm just worried they go through customs. I'm
why?
like, because sometimes they don't, something happens at customs and they return them, and I've had that before. For whatever reason, they have the visas expired or something, and they're some of these guys don't have either like a working visa, so TSA is like looking at boxing. Oh, you're coming to fight? He's like, no, I'm going to come to train, and so they get returned or something. They have something. Their ticket last name is not the same as their passport. Little things like that. They get sent back, and then I'm asked out.
No way. So if they have a fight, but their visa doesn't match up to, they get kicked back.
Say for example, well, we've had this done. If it's Joel Diaz, and I think some Diaz have that little on
Accento.
top of the something like that, yeah. And if it's Joel Garcia Diaz or Joel Diaz Garcia, but the ticket says Joel Diaz, it has to match. Like they
Yeah.
get like, well, who are you?
Oh,
Who are you? Like it's no, that's my last name. And a lot of times, even the commission would say,
Yeah.
some of these fighters that come from not like Mexico or whatever, it's like Humberto,
that's me.
Duran, Garcia, Diaz, Martinez.
Yeah.
But the fight,
Everything has to match.
yeah,
Everything has to match.
Oh. So that's your issue that you got. Not necessarily the fighter. You got to make sure they get into the country.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I'm like, dude. And now what we do, like, dude, just send us your passport. You get a picture of the passport. You get their whole name and everything, and Carla puts everything on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy that your Majima fought, Shakram Joseph, it's Wiston, Wiston, but everybody called him Winston, and he's like, call me either one. I'm like, and then just the way he was talking, good kid, but just I don't care what you want to call me. I'm like thinking,
Winston, yeah.
It's Wiston, but it was Winston. Even his uniform is spelled wrong. Like he's not even his name. It was,
Well, because sometimes they do that. They use their fighting name, and that's like if you look up Beto Duran on BoxRec, and it's Beto Duran. You put him on the sheet, the card, and it's Beto Duran. But then you figure, right? Let me get a flight for Beto Duran. But then his name is Roberto Duran,
Yeah.
and then we have problems.
ah,
So we know everybody Beto. You look at BoxRec, it's Beto.
yeah.
His prior fights is Beto. And then you come to find out his name is Humberto Duran.
Aye, all of a sudden. Yeah, that's why. I never thought about that you have to deal with that, Razo. That's interesting of how you got to figure things out. Coach, for you, I saw this weekend when you were talking with Shakram and
Israel.
no, not Israel. The manager,
Ali.
Ali. Right.
Alex.
It was cool where I'm talking to him, and he's translated for him, but then he's also talking to you. And I heard in a couple minutes, I heard some Spanish, some English, Russian, some Uzbek, and then because Jasa speaks so many, I think he speaks almost 7 languages, 6 languages.
Yeah.
Then he threw in like another language. I'm like, so the international factor of this is what I want to get to is how do you develop a relationship with guys, coach, that the trust factor comes in? Because it's you could train them, but for them to believe in you, because this is what I thought when I was in Tulsa and I saw your corner, that Joseph hasn't gone home in over a year. Majumov hasn't gone home in who knows how long, because they just go back to India. They fight because they have fights coming up. Even one of them even said in fighter meetings, "I don't know when I'm gonna go home. India's home right now." That they're locked in, dedicated.
Yeah.
For a guy to be so locked in like that, he has to trust his corner, his manager, everybody else. But how do you build that trust, coach, with somebody that you don't have anything in common with?
I just think is your personality, how you present yourself, and the respect you bring to them. Since they got here, honestly, I met these guys. I actually met Shakram. He was the first one I met from all of them. Shakram and Batir Akhmedov, that kid that fought Mario Barrios. And it was the time when Lucas Matisse fought Kiram in LA. I was there the week of the fight for Lucas Matisse, and Alec calls me and he goes, "Hey Joel, I brought some fighters from Uzbekistan. I would like for you to see them, see if we can work with them." So they drove me to the Legends gym, and I was there. And he was, "Hey, can you do mitts with them?" Sure. So I did mitts with Shakram and I did mitts with Batir. And since that moment, it's like all of a sudden he tells me, "Hey, they like you, man. They like you." And going back to Shakram, he told me recently. He says, "Coach, when they brought me to the U.S., I was in LA, I was in New York, and every trainer that trained me, I never liked them. I didn't like them. I didn't like the way they trained. But when I did mitts with you, I told Alec, hey, I like this guy. You know, this is the guy I like." So when they brought him over here to India, they were staying at a motel. It's a motel that is close to the gym. They will walk to the gym to the motel. It was him and another guy. And then they brought another guy and another guy. So they started coming until they started renting a house, and they were paying a lot of rent. So finally they they bought a home for them. They fixed it up. Beautiful home at a nice community. So Shakram is a kid that always tells me, "Coach, you are my second father," because I give him respect. I take care of him. He fought twice in Mexico, once in Tijuana and once in Hermosillo, Sonora. And every time he goes with me, I always show him. I always show him that I care for them. I show him that I'm there to protect them. I show them, and I don't just tell them. I show them. I fight for them. You know, anything. Hey, I make sure that they're okay. I make sure that everything is well for them, and that's why they respect me so much. But one thing I do know about them is this: they're very loyal. These guys, these Uzbeks, Bek, Shakram, Ahmad Aliyev, Israel, all these guys that we have in cap, they're the most loyal kids that you could find. But once you do them wrong, you're done. Yeah, that's the way they are. And Shakram, I mean, once he discovered quesadillas, guacamole, I mean, he's like, we were at the airport in Tulsa, and I'm talking to my wife, and I'm FaceTiming her, and then he tells my wife, please, quesadillas. So my wife made him quesadillas. When Junior picked us up at the airport, he had like a stack like this of warm shrimp and chicken quesadillas. That kid is happy. Guacamole, he discovered guacamole and quesadillas in Tijuana. We went to Hermosillo. Those kids are really good. They're very respectful. They're very grateful. Israel Madrimov, he's very religious as well.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very respectful. As you know what happened in Tulsa when I go to his room and he tells me, "Coach, can you wrap me?" And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Hey, where's your bracelet?" And he goes, "Oh, it's over there." You know? And I said, "You have it on?" He goes, "No, I don't like." You know, I communicate with him because being with him at the gym constantly, I pick up on some stuff. I mean, I try to ask him. Sometimes I stand in front of him and I ask him, "Hey, how do you say this?" And they tell me. So all day long, I'm repeating what they're teaching me. So then by one day or two, I already know it. So when it comes to boxing, I can guide a big fighter in their language already, which is good, you know, because they understand. When Bobby Joe Momimov fought in Vegas, most of my instructions that I was giving them were just in their language. And people were like, hey, coach, I mean, that's it. Don't ask me anymore.
I heard it because I was standing behind your corner. I heard the language from you.
I can guide a fighter because I'm asking them combinations and punches because I already know. I mean, I know. I mean, the mouthpiece, the headgear, the gloves. I mean, the cup. The jump rope. I mean, I know all that already in their language. So when I tell them, hey, coach, what's next? Yeah. And I tell them what's next. Hey, where's your mouthpiece? Hey, but those are very basic
Coach,
things.
This is what I saw afterwards. Because I see them, we do the fighter meetings, but this is the first time I've ever been around them after a fight. Actually, I've been around any fighters after a fight because we all had to stay in the hotel, Razo. And what I noticed was these dudes are huge celebrities in their country.
Oh, yeah, big.
When I posted, I think, one of your fighters getting wrapped, Razo, I gained over 500 Uzbekistan followers this past week. Because I tagged them, they reposted it. Majumov has over 1 million followers. Shakram has over 1 million followers. Majumov has like 800,000. So I was tagging them. I just thought, I was like, cool. I'm over here thinking, I got 20,000. I'm going to tag them, give them a little boost. No, I was doing it so they could repost it. Jingasu. I had then I posted it. I was getting comments back on everything in their language, all these people, this and that. And I showed it to Majuma. He's like, oh yeah, I have a lot of followers. Look. And I'm like, you do? So afterwards, they were on their Instagram live eating the pizza, and they included me in it. And they're like, hey, come here. And I'm there, and I just wave at it, and I see one comment. People just started putting the microphone right there. Like, okay. So I became famous in Uzbekistan over the week. So they saw you playing golf this week in Uzbekistan, Razo. They're all about you, bro.
Yeah. Look.
I was playing golf with you yesterday. I gained a couple of fans.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan fighters.
Yeah. I didn't know
have
this.
a lot of fans.
I didn't know
big
this.
fans. Shakram is a big celebrity. Israel is a big celebrity. Agman Aliyev is a big celebrity. And honestly, I can tell you this: if you go on my Instagram, maybe if I have 100 followers, 90% are from Uzbek, and 5% are Argentinians, and 2% are Mexican.
Razo, here's Beck the Bully. Dude, huge celebrity.
Yeah, Beck, that's my boy,
no,
Beck.
How about Beck? I found out is like special forces in the military over there.
Yeah.
He
has a high grade.
Yeah.
Like Navy SEAL.
He's a Navy SEAL version in their military over there. That dude. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. So it was cool to see.
Don't mess with him.
I mean, he don't want that smoke. Just like Tonyo, Mike Tyson, me and Beck. Give me one Happy Meal. I'm ready. There we go. All right. If you guys have any kind of questions, go for it right now. Throw them in there. There it is. Let's see here. Any kind of questions coming through? You have questions for Razo about QCs, question for Joel, all kinds of stuff, and we will get going with this. Now, Razo, I know you can't talk about what Canelo's doing with the WBC order and all that other stuff because it's just a lot of different things, but we do know that the fight card on the 28th is officially off, correct?
Postponed, correct.
Right. Not canceled. You just said a keyword.
Postponed.
Sometime,
some of you guys know, United came down with the COVID, so we try to do other main events, this and that. Just didn't work out, so we're gonna reschedule it for a future date. We don't have a date yet, but it'll be something hopefully early September. And these guys that have been on the cards, that we want to keep them training, and we'll come back soon, and I apologize, for that, but
you should apologize because it was my birthday next week. We were gonna have the Chivo at Joel's house.
I already had a Chivo.
That's funny. Go ahead, Coach.
I already had a Chivo. I told my dad, I go, hey, you know what? After the fight, Golden Boy has a 28th. After the fight, even Todd was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's funny.
Todd Grisham was ready to go.
Yes.
I said, hey, I called my dad and I said, hey, Dad, you know what? I'm gonna have a little get together. I'm gonna kill Chivo, and he goes, timing with me or whatever, and we're gonna have everything ready, and we're gonna be out there at the ranch and just hang out, have some beers and whatever.
That's funny because I had hit up Todd, put something wherever he's back at home. Todd Grisham, and then I'm like, hey, that looks awesome because right now it's hot, so that looks awesome. So he kind of asked me about the show, and I was like, right now, you know what, we'll find out. You know, I think this, whatever. And he goes, man, I heard, I heard we're going to Joel's house after the fight. He's gonna have a big party. I'm like, oh yeah, it's on, bro. So he was looking forward to coming
Yeah.
to the party.
It was
And Todd's a good dude, man.
yeah.
I like Todd.
Yeah, Todd Grisham,
Yeah.
excellent job at his. He does a great job for DAZN. All over the place. Used to be WWE. All right, Pheno Boxing coach. We're gonna get one right here. Coach, any update on you and Jojo Diaz? I don't know what that means.
No, well, actually, after JoJo's last fight, I haven't seen him. He went back home, and I mean, all this pandemic started and stuff, and we've texted a couple times, but nothing. I seen he's training out there, but I mean, I really, just have a fighter trainer relationship because his dad is his trainer. I was just coming in to help, but the person who contacts me for the training would be his manager.
Right.
And up to now, I haven't heard anything from anybody.
Yep, so there you go. We don't even know Jojo. I know he has a new management with MTK across the pond. So, all right.
So, I mean, that's a question. Now that he's with MTK, so that means he's no longer with Rafa Heredia? Is that what it is?
I guess so. I
mean, it just threw me off because I saw on social media Jojo Diaz signed with UK management group.
MTK. That's where Matthew
MTK.
Macklin or Michael Conlin's at.
Yeah, but I said, "Wow, is it?"
Conor McGregor.
I was like, "Is that a promoter?" I said, because I don't know if he's still with Golden Boy or not. So I said,
they're managers, and they're trying to get.
It's a manager.
They're trying to get into the United States.
Okay. So I said, so if he signed with a management group, so that means he's no longer with Heredia. So I don't know. Honestly, I never asked. So those are the things.
The management stuff. Like there was a brand new thing. A guy in front of Rick Merigian, I think that's how you say his name. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Rick Merigian from Fresno.
From Fresno. There you go. He now signed Tanahara, Joshua Franco, and also Ruben Villa, who fights on Thompson and Banner show. So it's
Navarro.
Or Navarro. Actually, Pheno Boxer says they're with Ralph. He's still with Ralph, but they're his advisors. You know, all that business stuff, I don't even know, porque it doesn't affect me. And the less I know about that stuff, the better, bro.
Yeah,
because
that's true. The less you know, just stay on the sideline. You know, you don't want to get involved in that.
That's what people are asking about Canelo and Turkish Mafia. I don't know how to say
leave my
that.
Turkish Mafia.
That's why I leave that to Roberto.
Yeah, but that's part of where Roberto's at right now. He was doing WBC stuff. That's why he couldn't make the show. So I mean, put it this way, people: when you hear that fights are ordered, it doesn't mean fights are going to be made
are done
or are done. Like you saw WBC tweeted Ryan and Luke Campbell 4 different times, and it finally got done. So it's all kinds of different stuff going on. All right,
and this is what I wanted to say before you move on. Since the WBC ordered Canelo and yielded him, which is Abney, I've been training Abney for a while, and obviously
that's Turkish Mafia, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of people don't know who he is, and and it's understandable. It's understandable that people would contact me and say, "Hey, coach, you got this guy?" Like, yeah, who is he? I mean, nobody knows him. Why? I mean, there's a lot of comments. They're more negative than positive because they're like, "Who's this guy? What has he done to fight Canelo?" I mean, it's hard to explain to the whole world. I mean, where this kid is, right? Obviously, he's the mandatory for the WBC because he was the #1 mandatory to fight Benavidez before Benavidez lost his title on the scale. But I mean, obviously, you don't know the fighter, and there's a fight that comes through where people are going to start knowing. It's like every fighter. There's a lot of fighters out there that are really good. They're coming up strong, and I guarantee you that 90% of people don't know them, and they will eventually know them once they're exposed against a named fighter. And that's how it is with Abney yielding him. Yeah, Abney fought Anthony Durrell, and on a tough fight, but Abney is a great fighter. I mean, if that fight would happen, I can guarantee you that he will go in there and give it his best, and he will give the fans a fight that they will never forget because he's tough. He's not a pushover. I mean, obviously he was at the same time I don't know if he helped Canelo for 2 camps in sparring. So he's a tough kid. And we spoke to him before. Canelo, oh coach, he's strong, he's good, but yeah, and he's very he's very confident about his ability to step up against Canelo because once they started talking about it, he called me. He's up in Germany right now, and he called me. He goes, Coach, if this happens, I guarantee you, I'm gonna give myself 100%, and I'm gonna make you proud. I said, okay. I mean, but it's hard to make people understand because people are like, hey, what does this kid do to deserve that fight? There's always those negative comments, but hey, it's boxing. You gotta realize that you gotta see new things, new fighters. There's new talent out there, and they just need to get some exposure.
Yeah. There it is. So, any other questions about that? No. Okay. Yeah, dijo, Coach. Drink your beer, Coach. Drink your beer. Feel good. Feel good. Razo felt good today. I feel good today. I'm all cool.
Ya se le calentó la cerveza a Razo. He's had it for about a year, for an hour.
This right here keeps it nice and chill.
Jose Tavares checking in right now. We had a good job. Jacob, there you go. Fino Boxing, got your answered question. So, all right. Any other questions? You guys have them, get them in right now. If not, we're going to wrap it up because it's been a long week, bro. And Razo's tired and we got to play golf again.
We were in the sun. It was hot.
We played golf yesterday. We played golf today.
Yesterday.
Razo.
Beto, I gotta tell you a quick story that I was a little embarrassed about. But I never told you last week. But when you came to Tulsa, it's like we didn't know we were staying in different hotels, right? I thought the bubble was the same hotel, right?
Oh, that's right. They had 3 different hotels.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So here comes Beto. Beto did something that it was really cool in a way because he knew that we were gonna have ThursDIAZ from Tulsa, right? So I'm in the bubble. I'm traveling from LA to Tulsa, Gallo. So, I said, okay, Thursday we're gonna do ThursDIAZ, and I even told my family, I said, I don't have nothing to drink, just water. So when Beto arrives in Tulsa, he goes, hey, Coach, I brought you. I said, are we going to do ThursDIAZ? He goes, yeah. I said, but how about, what am I going to drink? He goes, Coach, I got you something. I said, okay, no problem. So then he brought me a wine bottle. But the thing is, we talked about it last week, but I said, but he didn't know what I went through to get the bottle. I was like, he was like, hey, Coach, you here? Yeah. I got your bottle. You want to come get it? All right. What room are you on? He tells me, I'm on 606. So I get out of my room. I sneak out of my room when I'm not supposed to. And I was on 602 or 603. So I get out of my room and I go knocking on the door, Gallo. I'm knocking on the door. And he's not answering. I'm knocking on the door and not answering. And that's the former champion's room. Later on, I thought about that's her room. But I was at 606. And then I go, he's not answering. So I go, hey, what hotel are you in? He goes, I'm at the Hyatt. Oh, shit. So
sorry.
Yeah. So it was her room, but she never answered. She probably saw, but she never answered.
It was this creep.
Cecilia Breakthroughs. Oh, man.
It was her room. I was knocking on her room. I remember her because when we were training on the hallway, she was coming out of her room. So then I go to the room, Gallo, and then I called the promotion. I said, hey, you know what? I have a friend. Well, Beto Duran has something for me in the other hotel.
And they have no idea who I am.
Can we do it tomorrow? And I said, no, I need it today.
It's an everlast box.
No, they said, can we do it tomorrow? Can we do it today? So they went and picked it up. I was actually starting the podcast when they knocked on my door and they brought me the bottle, right? And then Beto goes, oh, you don't have an opener. So as soon as I picked up the phone, I said, excuse me, I'm in room 602. Can you? And he goes, oh, you need a bottle opener? They told me that. So they brought it. I was on the podcast when they brought it. So it was a cool story.
It happened. Coach, right here, Eddie Aguilera says, you have a bottle of Casa Dragones?
Yes.
Which one is that?
Right here.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Coach, why don't you send me one of those 1942?
Because Eddie Aguilera is saying that's a serious. Eddie Aguilera is saying that's some serious tequila right there.
These bottles have a serial number. Like every bottle, look, they come with it. Look, They come with a damn certificate. Look, they're like,
Wow.
yeah. Look, they have a serial number. They have, I mean,
Wow. That's
yeah. No. Look, it's like having a certificate of authenticity. Look, this is,
Razo, you have one of those?
And let me see what I got.
I got
Not at the moment right now.
me either. I got nothing either. That's legit. So all right. So Marco Favela, he says, I miss Toño smack talking. We do miss Toño. It is Toño's youngest son's birthday, so happy birthday to young.
It's
Ivan.
also my cousin Carlos de la Torre's birthday. Little shout out to him.
Carlos de la Torre. That's your cousin?
That's my cousin. He's your primo too. He's a primo of yours.
No, actually, one of the guys that watches the show is named Carlos de la Torre. Big Padre fan, and my high school baseball coach. He's a big fan of.
No, that's not him.
He's a
That's
big fan
another.
of ThursDIAZ. Every Thursday morning, he texts me, "You doing ThursDIAZ?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, I can't wait." He actually texts me right now. He's a big fan of Razo. So there it is.
I have a cousin named Carlos de la Torre.
All right, well, my cousin
Which
too.
is your cousin, because
Yeah, because we're
Somos primos.
yeah,
somos
me and
primos.
Razo were
Puro
related.
Zacatecas.
There it is. All right, thanks to everybody to watching ThursDIAZ tonight. Wrap it up right now. Thanks to Razo for coming in and stepping in for Roberto Diaz. Thanks to Joel Diaz. And Razo, what's the name of your show tonight?
That I whoop Beto's ass on golf.
I think, you know what? Jeremiah's watching right now. So I think next week, if Roberto's busy, do we substitute Jeremiah or Razo?
You could do Jeremiah. We all get some love, bro. That's good. I'm good with that.
yeah, el sol sale para todos, Beto. Remember that?
¿Verdad? Sol sale para todos. That's right.
But Razo, we're playing golf next week.
Yeah, I want a rematch, goddammit.
So we're playing golf. So do we let Jeremiah, the announcer, come in next week?
That's up to you.
But- But do we let him use his real voice?
Oh, he has two different voices.
You haven't heard?
Oh,
Oh.
he's very talented.
Oh, because you've only heard the ring announcer voice. Oh, yeah.
Well, we had dinner with him the other day. Remember, he didn't want to eat pizza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Jeremiah, the announcer, did not want to eat pizza. It's the only thing there. It's 12:30, Razo. He goes and gets salad. Because he doesn't want to be fat again.
Yeah. And he says that he don't want to eat pizza because he says he busted a few buttons on his on his jacket a couple times.
On his size 34 jacket.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, is at the end of the show, you know how it is. At the end of the show, you're hungry,
Just go.
everything's
Oh,
closed.
yeah.
So you eat whatever's out there, right? So as we're walking there and we tell the promoter, hey, is there anything open? Is there any food? They're like, no, everything's closed now, but there's pizzas right there. So we look inside and there's like a diner. This is a diner, right?
Yeah.
And there's a table and there's like 10 pizzas. And they're like, hey, go ahead, serve yourselves, guys. There's big old pizzas. So he goes, okay, so my fighters were out there, Vadim and Alec were sitting outside. So I grabbed 2 boxes of pizza. So we're there. And then all of a sudden I see Beto and I see Jeremiah come and they're like, hey, what's there for food? I say, hey, look, there's pizzas out there. And Jeremiah like, nah, I don't eat pizza, but I'm hungry. I'm starving. I go, what are you going to eat? He goes, I don't know. What is there? I go, just pizza. And then he goes, nah, I don't want to because I already busted a couple buttons on my jacket. And then Beto's telling him, come on, Jeremiah, just let it go today. It's,
No, but then
it's just today.
But he got a salad, right? Then all the ranch on top of it was worse than the pizza.
Yeah, I saw more croutons on that salad than lettuce.
Yeah. All right, next
He had
week.
some salad with his ranch.
Yeah, next week we might include Jeremiah a little bit. Jeremiah Gallegos, an excellent follow. Thanks for the birthday shout. A shout out to all the Leo. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up right now because I still got to edit and put it up on the podcast version. For Javier Razo and Coach Joel Diaz, we will see you next Thursday. Not from India. We will see you from wherever we are. Hopefully QC's 2020. We'll do the show from QC's, Razo, after we
Hey
play
guys,
golf.
be safe out there, man.
And
I'm telling you guys,
COVID
be
is
safe,
real,
man. This COVID ain't no bullshit. So please, fucking be safe out there, man.
Everybody have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for supporting, watching. Everybody, I know I have friends in Blythe, here in Indio, everywhere, Southern California. Everybody, thank you guys for always. Phoenix, Arizona. Everybody, just watching us, supporting us, and it's always a great show. We always talk a lot of clean stuff, things that happen to us, things that are part of our lives. So I just want to thank everybody. Yeah. We really appreciate the support. I know you guys always watch for an hour, 2 hours, but it's just all fun and games.
Cupman Caesar, appreciate you. Letty, we're going to get the raffle going eventually. Now that we're sober, we're going to figure out how to actually do the raffle. We'll figure it out, Letty. Calmada. And you got to rate, review, and hit the like button. That way we get our numbers up on YouTube because we continue to roll. So thanks everybody watching.
Como dice Marcos Pelayos, pícale like.
Pícale like. As Tocayo Beto Gomez says, hug a Cholo night at QC's. Hey, we saw Cholos playing golf yesterday. Huh?
Oh, the Fools Gone Wild. We saw the Fools Gone
Wild.
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk about Aldair. I saw Aldair swinging at the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as he swings, he opens his leg.
Yeah. Like a. Oh, but we saw the Fools Gone Wild, and they were like, damn. The higher the socks, the downer the food.
They were the Cholos. The thing is, Coach, the Cholos had the most expensive equipment too. Cholos are.
Where'd they get it from? I don't know.
I didn't say they bought it, but Cholos are golfers too, bro. We will see you next week for another edition of ThursDIAZ. Good night, everybody.
Nice.
Good night.